Hello everybody and welcome inside the Harlow Gymnasium. My name is Jake Klein and we have the first of 3 Fay School basketball games today. It's JV boys, varsity A boys, and then the varsity girls. The first 2 teams will face off against the Fenns. We got Fenn and Fay, 2 rivals, longtime rivals. Fay School, the oldest junior boarding school in the United States, and Fenn following them up in a close second. So 2 rivals going at it today. It'll be JV boys to start things off. Coach Dan Roy of the Fay School JV team will start William Yoon, a first-year 7th grader from South Korea, Tri Chankasiri from Bangkok, Thailand, Mac Myers from Ashland, Massachusetts, David Jang from Marlborough, Massachusetts, and Daniel Chung from Jeonju, South Korea. So we're underway now, as it'll be Daniel Chung tipping it off against the center from Fenn, that is Wessel. So we're underway here from Harlow Gymnasium as the players set outside of the Block F. Tip is up and it goes Fay's way. This is Mac Myers controlling the basketball to begin. Swings it around the top, he's looking for Chankasiri. Will Yoon's going to end up with it. He's the team's leading scorer, and on the first possession, he will be called for a travel. So Fenn will quickly get the ball, as this is going to be the point guard, Stevens, coming up, and Fay comes out in a 3-2 zone. Swung to the left. This is Engerman. He's going to take it back now, and this is Wessel. He's the starting center. Back to Engerman along the baseline. He's going to kick it out. This is Hickey. Now he gets it to the 5th Fenn starter. That's Woodman, and then back to the top for Stevens. Stevens to Hickey. They both wear number 15 for this Fenn team. As it goes back to the corner for Stevens. Now to the top for Engerman. He comes off a pick right, and they lost the ball. Will Yoon, who also leads Fay JV in steals, has been pesky on defense and right on cue. There's his first steal of the ball game. They're pushing it ahead as Yoon finds Mac Myers down low. He throws up an air ball. Loose ball controlled by David Jang. Jang finds Yoon. Now back out. Mac Myers at the top, getting his first start of the year today. Jang charges ahead, and the ball is going to be stolen by the Fenn point guard, Stevens. Stevens now bringing it up for Fenn. Bounce pass, Yoon again with a second steal. He's going to push it ahead. He finds Tri Chankasiri, and he puts the layup in, much to the pleasure of the Fay crowd. So Stevens now looking to answer the first points of the game from Tri Chankasiri, a 7th grader from Bangkok, Thailand. Now Will Yoon has the ball on the floor, throws it ahead to Chankasiri. That's already the 3rd steal for Yoon, but Chankasiri lost it quickly. The pass ahead from Woodman finds Stevens eventually. He'll take it slowly up the court, defended by Yoon. This is going to go back to Engerman now. Comes off the pick from Stevens and tosses it back to Stevens. There's another pick. This one is from Wessel. He's looking for Hickey now, and he can't find him. And it ends up back with Woodman in the corner. Here's Stevens. Right hand, cross to the left. Good defense so far from Will Yoon as he pokes another ball away. Now Engerman, he's going to charge to the lane, and he missed the layup. Will Yoon with a tight rebound inside. Mac Myers running the floor. Yoon finds him. Myers mishandles the ball, throws it back out. He's got Daniel Chung, the center. Here's Yoon, face up, pump fake, step back, jumper. No good. And the rebound goes to Engerman. He's going to take it himself now and give it up to Stevens. Stevens running now. Heads right for Engerman to Hickey in the corner. Slips a bit, drives to the lane. And it's a held ball. More excellent defense from Will Yoon. And we're going to get some subs now as Christian Brown, a 7th grader from Southborough, Massachusetts, as well as Edward Liu, a 7th grader from Beijing, China, will come in for Chung and for Myers. Now Stevens finds himself outside looking at a 3, passes it up, and again Will Yoon, on top of everything so far, has another ball poked away. So the clock running so far. Here's Engerman out of the inbounds play. It's now a 2-3 zone for the Fay School as Christian Brown's got a hand on this one. Engerman picks it back up. He's charging to the lane. Will Yoon's in his face. Brown's got another hand in there. Square up. No travels called as they get it inside to Hickey. He's looking to go up, gets it outside for Engerman. And we're going to have a 3-second violation. That's going to go against Hickey. 10:33 to go here in the first half of 6 halves of basketball today from the Harlow Gymnasium. As Will Yoon, who has 3 steals already, he's been a havoc on the defensive end, has it on offense. He's yet to cross the midcourt line. He's going to get 3 picks and roll off all of them to the baseline. He's in a jam, and he might have double dribbled. He did. So a turnover for Will Yoon. And Fenn is now going to bring in 3 subs. It's Johnson, Clark, and Ma. They'll replace Hickey, Stevens, and Woodman. Clark will run the point for the Fenn school, as he's got his right-hand dribble, crossing to the left as he crosses the timeline. Clark moving right now into the corner. Will Yoon with his ferocious defense, and Clark's found himself in the corner with a double team. He gets it away to Wessel now, the starting center. He's on the floor for the 2nd time today, and he finds a teammate outside. Inside now, Chankaskiri's got a hand on it as he's moving ahead. He gets it to Yoon, pushing ahead, goes right hand, inside out dribble, and he's fouled on the floor. The foul is going to go against Wessel, the starting center for Fenn, and here come the subs for Fay. It's Julian Abatang, an 8th grader from Dulles, Virginia, and Pierce Girolamo, who was the starting point guard at the beginning of the year before Will Yoon took that spot. Girolamo comes in and puts up a shot, no good, as quick outlet from Woodman make it Clark. Clark's got it now, and that's going to go out of bounds, and it hit the foot of Clark. So Fay's got another turnover. That's the 5th of the game already for Fenn. Inbound to Chankasiri running the point now, crosses the midcourt line and heads right. Throws down low for Abatang. He had a cutter, but he didn't hit him. This is Edward Liu, the big tall center from China. Into the corner for Abatang again. Throws outside. He's got Chankasiri, runner, into the lane. He's lost the ball, and we're tied up in a jump ball. It was Engerman who got a hand on it, and this is going to stay with Fay. The inbounds play comes in from head coach Dan Roy as Christian Brown will trigger. Julian Abatang coming around. He's got him. He's open. Let's see if he'll go up with it. He does, and he hits. Julian Abatang converts, and the coaches and his teammates are liking that. They're quickly into a 2-3 zone headed by Pierce Girolamo and Christian Brown. Clark picks up the dribble, tosses one back for Engerman, moving left hand. Christian Brown is all over him. Pick coming in from Wessel. He fakes a 3, now drives to the lane, puts it up, and missed it. Edward Liu amongst the rebounders, and Christian Brown comes out of the pile with it. Christian running ahead, cross behind the back, lost the ball, and he stepped out of bounds. So the first turnover of the game on the Fay side. And another sub, it's Tyler Scarangella from Holliston, Massachusetts. He'll take Chankasiri's spot. Clark now finds Wessel. Inside, left-hand dribble, outside finds Engerman. Goes up and hits. Tough shot by Engerman, but he got it. And it's the first 2 for Fenn. Dan Roy calling a play as Pierce Girolamo now will run the point after that last substitution. He wears number 11 out of respect for his favorite NBA player, Kyrie Irving. And we're going to get a defensive foul. It's going to go against Clark. And he did not like that call as he motioned to his sideline. Ma's going to come out of the game now, and in his place is going to come the newest Fenn player. This is Woodman. Outside now, and Engerman's got a hand on it. Clark now, right hand. He'll move right. Drives, puts up a running shot, and hits. So the game is tied at 4 with 7 minutes and 40 seconds to go here in the first half of basketball as Edward Liu gets it back to Pierce Girolamo. Moving right now, hits Christian Brown with a chest pass. Moving left, crosses over into the corner. Finds Girolamo. as Tyler Scarangella comes around the top. Girolamo goes right, approaching the half-court line after Clark pokes it away. Here he comes down the sideline onto the baseline, throws one out for Scarangella. Mishandles the ball, finds himself on the ground, and Woodman's got it. To Wessel to Clark, who's pushing ahead. This is Girolamo. Short and out of bounds. Good defense by Pierce Girolamo as Clark could not hit. So now the Faye School will take over again. Girolamo left hand cross to right as he moves across the midcourt line. Clark hands on the knees, shuffles right. Edward Blue's going to find himself now as he puts 2 dribbles, now 3, and he's going to lose the ball, but Christian Brown, his teammate, comes up with it. He'll take it now himself, one-on-one. He's got Wessel on him, and Wessel comes up with the ball. Charging to the rim, 2 men to stop him. He's going to get the foul against Christian Brown, who lost the ball and then fouled him on the way back. So 6:39 is the time of the foul, as Wessel will head to the line for 2 free throws. First free throw is no good as 2 more subs come in. It's starter David Jang. He will replace Edward Liu. And then the point guard, Machias Pareda from Southborough, Massachusetts, will replace Julian Abatang, who had the second bucket of the game for Faye. Wessel will have his second of 2 now, as they're going to get a violation against Fenn. And that'll be Faye basketball. So a mistake at the line by number 53, that is Johnson, the backup center, costs Fenn a chance at a free throw. And now Girolamo drives. Clark poked it away. Brown and Girolamo hustling back. Engerman there with Clark. Machias Pareda picks up Engerman, and Engerman takes it right over him for 2. Now Pierce will take it up again. 7th grade, but not his first year at Faye. He is a 3-year Faye student. He came along in 5th grade, and he stayed up until 7th grade. So we're going to get a foul there against Clark. Inbound is triggered by Girolamo. Gets it to Brown. He's looking for Scarangella, doesn't have him. Trapped in the corner now. Great defense by Engerman. And they're going to give him a 5-second violation, a more rare violation in basketball, as Stevens comes back in for Clark. Stevens' right hand dribble back across the timeline. Swing to the corner for Engerman. He was not picked up. This is a 2-point shot, no good. Gets it back out for Stevens. That's going to be a travel. He hop-stepped before he got the shot off. And another Fenn turnover about to spin the story for them. Will Yoon, who had created a lot of plays on the defensive end early in the game, is going to check back in for Christian Brown, and his starting center, Daniel Chung, again from Jeonju, South Korea, is also back in. Good screen by Machias Pareda frees up Will Yoon to find Girolamo in the corner. Yoon had a good cut, and Girolamo did not see him. Pierce now gets it to Machias Pareda, top of the key, squares one up, and he gets Will Yoon right into a jump shot. It's long, but an offensive rebound by Daniel Chung. Lost the ball underneath. It's going to go out of bounds, and Fenn's got it. So Faye's now going to get back into a 3-2 zone, headed by Will Yoon. So Stevens now, high defense by Will Yoon here. And Stevens crosses over now, spins left. Here's Woodman in the corner, throws to the top back for Stevens, and now Wessel, who has yet to leave the game. Corner 3 by Woodman is far along, and Girolamo's going to take it up the sideline. Wessel is back into the lane for Jang, puts it up, gets the contact and puts it in. David Jang, a 7th grader from Marlborough, Massachusetts, with the and 1 play, and he'll have a chance to convert and give his team the lead here mid-first half rather. David Jang put up 4 in the team's win against Bancroft in their last outing. That was a week ago from Wednesday, as they came off perhaps their best game of the season at Bancroft. So it'll be Jang now to try and convert on the N1 try. He banks it home. So Fei now has a 7-6 lead, and they're going to get back into the 3-2 zone. Willa at the top. Pierce Girolamo now defending Wessel. Back to Stevens now, top of the key. Dribbles right hand, gets the pass around to Engerman. This is Hickey back into the game at center. Good defense by David Jang. Slides one in for Wessel. Oh, and he's going to get a tough foul call on the floor. And that's going to go against Daniel Chung. So now Hickey will trigger the inbound, and he gets an easy pass to Engerman, who missed a wide open layup. So Fei gets away with one there as Pierce Girolamo overthrows Will Yoon, and it's the third Fei turnover of the game. We're going to get a timeout from the Fenn bench, and they're going to get their substitutions in. Tri-Chen Kasiri is also set to check in for Fei. Just a reminder, stay with us here on fayschool.org/basketball, as it will be the varsity boys team against Fenn, followed by the girls varsity team facing off with the Brimmer and May School. That will still to come on the network here. So this has been a good one so far, as we got 4:29 to go with the timeout. Will Yoon has been a real difference maker so far. He's got 4 steals in the game. We're back now as Stevens finds Engelman in the corner for Fenn. He gets one to Woodman. And Engelman now back to the top 4. Stevens, Will Yoon, and Machias Pareda now in a 2-3 zone, as Tri-Chen Kasiri also has checked into the game for Fei. Left hand by Woodman. Stevens now gets it back to Engelman. Machias Pareda's got a hand on it and knocks it free. Engelman was able to force the jump before Pareda could come away with it. And we're going to get the first Fenn substitution out of the break. It'll be Edelman, not Engelman. This is Edelman coming off the bench for Fei. From the corner, Engelman looks at a 3, throws outside. Edelman's got it. Now this is Stevens, moving left, crosses right. Pareda tied up, and Fei had possession, so they'll take it up the court. Chen Kasiri will trigger the inbound to Will Yoon, as Fei comes up the court holding a 7-6 lead. Daniel Park is going to check in for the first time today, a 7th grader from Natick, Massachusetts, as Yoon finds Chen Kasiri on the wing, and right back to Yoon, cutting into the lane. Engelman tied him up, and it's a held ball, so that will stay with Fei. And in addition to Park, Kyrie Jones, an 8th grader from Northborough, will check in. They'll replace Daniel Chung and Machias Pareda. Park will trigger the inbound here, as it's a stack formation for Fei. He looks for Will Yoon, and he's got it to him. Flips out for David Jang to the baseline, puts it up, and he's going to draw the foul from Hickey. So David Jang will go to the line for the second time. He converted on his first free throw of the day on the and one play earlier. He'll have 2 more here. He banked the first one in, and he missed completely here. Coach Dan Roy cited free throw shooting as an area of improvement for this team, as David Jang goes 0 for 2 from the line on this set. And, oh boy, Wessel fell over in the backcourt, and that'll be a travel, so Fei gets it back. Park will again trigger the inbound. Chen Kasiri breaks. Double pick play, and he gets it out to Yoon in the corner. He's going to take it right now, finds Chen Kasiri. Drives, crosses back, steps back, and missed. Tipped out, Park fighting for the rebound. Stevens comes away with it, tied up with Kyrie Jones. He pulls away. Crosses now left, it's Stevens. He's going to find Engelman down low. This is Hickey now. Good defense by Chen Kasiri. Steps out as Engelman with a long 2, no good. Offensive rebound goes to Wessel. He lost the ball, and it'll be Fei's. So not a lot of scoring here early. I guess we're getting late into the first half now, just 3 minutes to go. Pick by Kyrie Jones, and Will Yoon goes to the rack. Missed the falling away jumper, and this is going to stay with Fay. It hit off the fingertips of Wessel. Park now finds David Jang. He's going to come around. Inside to the rack, puts it up and missed it. Engelman with another rebound for Fenn. Outlet to Stevens, and Fay will get into the zone. Will Yoon slides, picks up his man, and an intercepted pass by Kyrie Jones, and they'll eventually get it back to Yoon, charging up the sideline. Now steps back, finds Chankasiri up top, fakes a shot, now crosses to his left hand. And Wessel tied him up and stole the ball. So Wessel has been a defensive force early in the game for Fenn, and then he slowed down a little. He had a quick break and came right back in, where he's continued that. Will Yoon has been the same for Fay. Here is Engelman inside, finds Wessel, moving around. He finds Engelman back out. He's going to shoot a two, not even close. And Edelman's going to save it right to Hickey, no good. And Engelman chases another board down. Will Yoon tied him up outside. This is Hickey. Finds Wessel. He'll back down Daniel Park. Free as Stevens at the top. Drives, doubled by Chankasiri. Now Will Yoon's got him. Crosses left, steps back. Here's Hickey. He's going to charge right at Kyrie Jones and throw it back out to Stevens. This lengthy possession for Fenn continues as Engelman's got it at the top. Dan Roy encouraging his team to get their hands up on defense, as Engelman's got it now in the corner for Wessel. Puts it on the ground, puts it up, no good, and Will Yoon's got the long rebound. Pushing it ahead, finds Chankasiri. He's got an open layup, and he converts. Fay takes a 9-6 lead. Stevens now will take it right back up the court after a long Fenn possession. Saw them get 4 offensive rebounds, but missed 5 shots. Edward Liu, Mac Myers, and Tyler Scarangella are set to check back in for Fay. Here's Engelman, finds Edelman, spins around and finds Stevens, the point guard. Back at the top as Will Yoon moves his feet to get Edelman to Engelman. As Yoon again picks his man up. Cross-court pass is going to hit off the fingertips of Wessel, and he stepped out of bounds. So another Fenn turnover. That's number 8 for them. Here come those subs for Fay. Fenn will stick with the same 5 here. Scarangella now inbounds to Chankasiri, gets it down to Edward Liu. He started the season as the center, and now he loses the ball. He graduated, or I should say was demoted, to the bench. As Scarangella's got it, fakes a shot, throws a cross-court pass to Chankasiri. Runner in the lane is no good. Offensive rebound, Edward Liu knocked out of his hands, and Stevenson's got it. Puts it ahead, and it's knocked away by Park. Scarangella's got it. He puts it ahead for Chankasiri. In the middle, he's looking for Liu. He can't get it to him. Daniel Park puts it on the ground. And that is the first half. We will be right back from Harlow Gymnasium. The halftime score, Fay 9, Fenn 6. Welcome back, everyone, to Harlow Gymnasium at Fay School. And before we begin the second half, we want to give a quick shout-out to our resident statistician, Jordy the Janitor Alfonso. So we'll start the second half. It's a 9-6 lead to Fay in the final 14 minutes as Clark, who did not start the game, will start the half. Ma, who also was on the bench to begin the affair, is on the floor to start the second as Hickey quickly drives the lane, and he's going to draw a foul off Edward Liu. So Fenn quickly attacks the rim and gets a trip to the line. This will be Hickey. He's not yet scored in the game, but he's logged serious minutes. And he had a couple good defensive plays, so he's got a chance to enter the scoring book here. On the court for Fay to start the half as Hickey banks the first free throw in. Daniel Park, Chankasiri, Mac Myers, David Jang, and Edward Liu, who took the foul. Second shot now from Hickey is up, and it is no good as Chankasiri comes away with a long rebound. He's got Mac Myers flying down the court. He's going to try and get one to him. Tipped away, somehow finds Edward Liu, and he draws the foul. So Edward Liu now, after Fenn center goes to the line, Fay's will. Liu is a first-year 7th grader from Beijing, China. He was largely unknown coming into this season, and he's carved out a niche here on the JV team as the center. He leads the team in rebounds. And we've got some conversation between Coach Dan Roy and the official. Not sure what that's about, but we'll find out momentarily. Whatever was going on, they've deemed that it was appropriate. And Edward Liu will take his shots. He wears number 22 in white numerals on his red jersey as he's long with the free throw. Second free throw for Liu as Woodman comes away with his miss. Point guard here is Engelman, one of the taller players on the floor for Fenn. Chankasiri picks him up. He gets a pick from Clark. Help defense is only good enough as Engelman missed the shot but got his own board. Out to Clark, fakes a three. Daniel Park moving his feet. Clark into the lane, challenged by Liu, but he missed the layup. And Chankasiri has his third rebound of the half. Now he's going to get one again ahead to Myers, who finds Daniel Park at the top. Moving outside, back to Chankasiri. Oh, goes left. Puts up a floater and got it. Chankasiri with an impressive move, and he's got his team a 4-point lead. Just a few minutes into the second half here from Fay School. Just a reminder, we've got the Varsity A boys next, and then the Varsity girls as Engelman misses a shot, and Park comes away with the board. He'll run the point for now, and Mac Myers, by the way, has been flying down the court each time his team comes up with the board. They've got him almost every time as Chankasiri tries to fit a bounce pass through to Liu, but it hits off the foot of Woodman, and it'll stay Fay ball. Park now finds a cutting Chankasiri, but he'll go to David Jang instead. Jang bounces right hand to Chankasiri, and he's going to be fouled on the floor by Ma. Ma is the shortest and youngest player on this Fenn team as Daniel Park and Fay are going to set up the box play. Quickly, that's going to be it for Ma, at least for now, as here comes number 34, that's Edelman. David Jang cutting in, finds his way to the rim, fading as he shoots it long. Edward Liu can't get a hand on it, Clark can. Liu now is going to poke the ball away, but Fenn clearly had possession, and they will retain that here. So 12:24 to go in the second half, as Edelman and Hickey are both over to take the inbound. It'll be Hickey who gets it to Clark. And Woodman along the side, along with Engelman, Edelman, Hickey and Clark. Engelman now picked up by Myers and Chankasiri. One of them poked the ball free, and it's a 3-2 zone now as Daniel Park chases Woodman into the corner. Flips one out for Hickey, Park with a hand up. Good defense on the baseline by David Jang, and Clark will try a three, and it rims out. It'll be Fenn ball, as they say it hit David Jang on the rebound attempt. Hickey will trigger the inbound now for Fenn. As they go quickly inside, Engelman fades and hits. Impressive shot by Engelman as Daniel Park will take things back up for Fay. Chankasiri now moving with the left hand up the court. Bounce pass entry to Liu. He lost the ball. And Hickey's coming up the floor with it. Fenn's varsity team has arrived as they're coming into Harlow Gymnasium now. This is Edelman coming to the baseline looking for Hickey. Edward Liu tied him up and he travels. There's no call, but Mac Myers. Now they're going to get a 3-second on Hickey, who traveled anyways, so Fay gets the ball in one of three potential ways. Tyler Scarangella and Will Yoon, along with Pierce Girolamo, will all come in for Fay. Daniel Park, Mac Myers, and Chankasiri will all leave the court. Will Yoon, who had 4 steals in a tremendous defensive effort in the first half, will cross to his right hand as he waits to cross the line. There's a double pick. They could be called for a foul. They're going to let him go as Clark drives and missed the layup. Edward Liu chases down the rebound. He's going to get it to Tyler Scarangella. Outlets to Pierce Girolamo, attacking with the right hand. Lost the dribble momentarily. He's going to kick to Will Yoon in the corner, but Clark's got a hand on it. No fouls are called as people and the ball go bouncing around as Yoon now picks up Clark as Fenn takes over on offense. Well, wild shot by Edelman. David Chang has the air ball as Will Yoon attacks again. Finds the seam, stops short, and hits Girolamo. Sets a good pick, and Pierce Girolamo is way short. Oh dear, and the ball was going out of bounds, and Engelman chased it down. So Fay will keep the ball even after the dismal shot by Pierce Girolamo. Some substitutions for Fenn, as Woodman is going to leave the court. Stevens, the point guard, and Wessel, the center, are both back into the game. Yoon off the inbounds hits on a jumper from the baseline. Impressive shot by Will Yoon. That hit nothing but the net. Clark now taking it up. Yoon, who has 4 steals, as I said, in the game, has been tremendous on defense. He picks up his man in a 2-3 zone, and he goes up with one now. Does Wessel, and he misses, but Stevens finds the rebound. Engelman now defended by Yoon. Help comes from Girolamo now, as Yoon now defending on a screen from Stevens. Clark fakes a 3 and finds Engelman driving into the lane, and he's going to get a floor foul on Tyler Scarangella. So Hickey will, as he has all game, trigger the inbound. He finds Wessel, who's been happy feet all day, traveling twice already. Clark now throws one out to his man. He finds Wessel, who misses one, and then coming away with another offensive rebound is Engelman, as a 3 try from Wessel. The center is no good, and Daniel Chung, who came in recently for Fay, comes away with the board. Will Yoon now, moving right, finds Girolamo. Julian Abatang additionally has entered the game, the 8th grader from Dulles, Virginia. Yoon drives, and we're going to get a foul from the outside official, and that's going to go against Hickey, the big man, who picked up Yoon. So Girolamo will trigger, looks for Yoon, now bounces one in for Chung, and he had Yoon open. He went to Chung, but it's going to be blue ball after the tie-up results in a Fay turnover. So Clark, pick comes from Stevens, and they're going to get an illegal screen. Will Yoon sells the shot from the point guard Stevens, and here comes the backup center Johnson. He will relieve Wessel of his duties. 9 minutes now to go here in the game, as Girolamo will trigger to Will Yoon. Chung now gets a pick, and that'll be an illegal screen right back. He came flying in and hit Clark in the waist area. So back-to-back illegal screens, and Fenn's got it back. Girolamo picks up the head of the zone as Hickey tries to enter. He can't, and he'll find a wide-open man on the baseline. Johnson never even thought once about shooting. Clark goes from underneath the hoop trying to score. He can't. Pierce Girolamo comes flying in. Clark, with great hustle on the way back, gets it away from his man, who gets it to Yoon, and back to Girolamo, who is not fouled. They're going to call it a held ball on the shot attempt. Johnson, who did not shoot on an open shot earlier, is able to make up for it and force the jump here. So Girolamo will inbound again. Bounce pass, this time he finds Chung. He's fouled. He can't hit the shot, but he'll go to the line. The foul goes against Clark underneath. He was late coming off of the screen by Scarangella, and Chung broke free. So Daniel Chung, he started his first game of the season today from South Korea, and he rolls in the first free throw, which extends the Fay lead to 5, their biggest of the day. Puts another right in as Daniel Chung with an impressive trip to the free throw line, and Fay's going to get into man-to-man defense for the first time today. And 2 people have Engelman, which usually doesn't result in a good man-to-man defense, and so Scarangella fouls, and Fay will have some a chance to reset themselves. Flying bodies as Stevens hits the ground. Engelman comes off, and he's going to be fouled, and the basket is no good, however, as the ball rolls out. So it's going to be a trip to the line for Engelman. It's free throws number 5 and 6 coming from the Fenn school. It's the second foul against Will Yoon, as Engelman's shot attempt is no good. Will's going to come out of the game now, and he's replaced by Machias Pareda, as free throw number 2 forthcoming from Engelman. His shot is up, and it is good, as Scarangella now finds Girolamo. He comes charging up the left side of the court, now steps back. He's got a right-hand dribble going. As he comes around, puts up a floater in the lane, and he airballed it. It'll be out of bounds, and it'll be Fenn ball. Pierce Girolamo's attempted 3 shots. He's hit the rim on but 1. Scarangella now moving his feet as Engelman gets into the lane, kicks out for Stevens. Not a good shot as it's tracked down by Daniel Chung. His inadvertent pass right to Pierce Girolamo, who comes to the lane trying to draw a foul, and he does not like the lack of call coming from the baseline referee. Christian Brown and David Jang are going to come in the ball game now. Make it just Christian Brown. Wessel, the starting center, will check back in for Fenn. And they quickly take out Pierce after 3 consecutive missed shots. So on the court for Faye, Pareda, along with Scarangella, Brown, Abatang, and Chung. As Chung pokes one out of bounds right back to Fenn. Baseline is Engelman. Good D by Pareda. Got a hand on the ball and forced the miss. Clark gets the offensive board. Rolls one out to Engelman. Missed the shot. Another offensive rebound. This time Pareda's got a hand on it, and it's a held ball. That's an impressive play by Machias Pareda against Fenn's tallest player. Chest pass now goes inside and is tracked back down by Wessel. Finds Clark outside. Pareda now on the switch. Again, Tyler Scarangella's behind his man, and it's 2 more for Engelman. Tyler Scarangella has been slow with the feet since Faye switched to man-to-man defense. Pareda now, right-hand dribble off the pass from Christian Brown. He's alone on the right side, now joined by Julian Abatang. And they're going to try and get Abatang the ball, but they cannot do so as it goes flying out of bounds. Clark now. He's run the point for most of the game for Fenn, despite coming off the bench. This will be Wessel now wide open, but not a good shot, as the ball is going to be held and Faye ball. They're actually going to call a foul as it goes against Stevens. The call is foul against Stevens. That's blue 15, and some subs as Abatang and Scarangella and Chung all come out, real replaced by Jang, Chankasiri, and Liu. Christian Brown lost the ball, but it's knocked away by Engelman, so Faye will retain possession. 6.5 to go here in the 4th quarter, or 2nd period, I should say, as the inbound pass is picked off by the tall center for Fenn. That's Hickey, but he stepped on the line, so Faye will do it again. It's the double pick play coming here as it frees Chankasiri and then Edward Liu, who's got it falling away from the basket he cannot hit. This is Clark now as he moves to the right of Chankasiri. Still man-to-man, or at least some form of it, as they get it down low to Clark, whose man was nowhere to be found, and he missed the layup, so Chankasiri will come away with the long rebound. 6 minutes now as Chankasiri runs the point, gets it to Christian Brown. He's got the dribble moves as he displays here, and he loses it out of bounds. It will go to Fay after Wessel knocked it away, but he's yet to attempt a shot in the ballgame. Jankasiri now, outside. Oh, burns Clark right to the rack, but he can't finish. It was Hickey who may have got a hand on it. So Engelman now thought about three, picked up by David Jang, takes a tumble, and Hickey's high arcing shot is no good. Wessel comes away with it. Stevens back to Engelman at the top, and hits. So Fenn, down by as many as 6, is back within 5, and Dan Roy is going to take a timeout from Harlow Gymnasium. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone, to Harlow Gymnasium for what should be an entertaining stretch of junior varsity basketball between these two K-9 schools, longtime rivals. And it's just the first game between these two as the varsity squads await each other at the base of the gymnasium floor. This is Chankasiri now quickly out of the timeout. His runner is no good. And Engelman, who has been a force on the boards for Fenn, is going to come up the floor with it. Fenn can take the lead with a bucket here as Clark comes off a pick and a good one and hits a three. So Fenn, off the first made basket of the game from Clark, has taken a 2-point lead. Chankasiri now, who's been running the point for the last few minutes, finds David Jang weaving through the lane to the bucket, and he blatantly missed the layup. This will be Engelman taking it up, as he has the last 2 possessions. He finds Wessel, a cutting Stevens. He's the point guard. And Engelman, who's been all over the place today for Fenn, I've called his name quite a few times, tips one after a miss, gets it back, missed it. David Jang with a good box out, and Hickey, the center for Fenn, hit the ball. So here come the 2 star Fay guards, Pierce Girolamo and Will Yoon. Yoon has been really the undisputed MVP of this JV team this year, and that showed today. Pretty full gym here, and it'll only get fuller for the 2 more varsity games. As both refs saw a foul, it's going to go against 14. That's Wessel, the starting center for Fenn. Pierce Girolamo will trigger the inbound momentarily as the referees are going to make sure that this is not a 1-on-1 opportunity for Fay. It's a 2-point lead from Fenn after the go-ahead 3 by Clark, his first made bucket of the game. It will not be a 1-on-1. It will be an inbound play that finds Chankasiri, turns, finds Pierce Girolamo, pump fakes a 3, puts one up, and missed. He's 0 for 4 from the field today. Here's Clark, moving left. Now spins and comes around right, finds Engelman, defended by Chankasiri. Here comes a pick from Stevens, picked up by Yoon. Clark, who just hit the 3 a moment ago, puts one dribble. Pierce Girolamo nearly overcommits, but Engelman's got it, goes up and goes under and puts one in. So the lead for Fenn extended now to 4 points as just about 4 minutes to go for Dan Roy's JV squad. Will Yoon quickly taking matters into his own hands as he rockets himself right down into the paint, puts one up and draws the foul. He'll go to the line for 2 free throws. So Yoon with a impressive start to the game. We haven't seen much of him since, excluding his 1 bucket, as he puts the free throw in here and puts Fay within 3 points now. Crowd more starting to file in here as the varsity boys game approaches. Again, they'll be followed up by varsity girls. Will puts both free throws in the hole, and it's man-to-man defense again. It went into man-to-man defense earlier, and it did not go well as Tyler Scarangello was burned off the dribble multiple times. Clark finds a quick hole, and they're going to call a travel. I thought it might be a foul against David Jang, but they gave him that stop and start rule and called the travel. Will Yoon now coming up, finds Chankasiri, and he traveled. Same rule gets try Chankasiri as Fay gets it and then turns it right back over again. Hickey to Clark as Fenn, up 2, and we're down to just 3 minutes to go, takes over. This is Engelman now, as he drives right side, steps back. Yoon playing good D is going to be called for a blocking foul as he did not set his feet. So it will be Hickey's inbound from the baseline as it has been all day for Fenn. Bounce pass finds the point guard Stevens. David Jang got a hand in it. Stevens retains. Clark, who drilled the go-ahead 3 a moment ago, is a right-hand dribble going, and he traveled for the second possession in a row. Clark turns it over with a foul, and Pierce Girolamo is going to exit the game now as the starting center. Daniel Chung re-enters the game. Will Yoon now moves right, finds Chankasiri right back to Yoon in the paint. He's going to step back. He's hit. No, they're going to say it was a clean block. Falling to the ground now as Jang has tied up with Stevens. It's going to be called a jump ball, and Fay will again retain possession. We're inside 3 minutes now, as this is going to be a baseline play, at least, so the players are setting up like it is. And it is going to be a sideline play, the referees have determined. So they'll take things off of the side here. Chankasiri triggers to Will Yoon, poked away by Clark. Yoon retains possession. Moving right now. Chankasiri nearly traveled again as he drives into the lane, kicks out, finds David Jang. Bullet pass picked off by Clark. He was looking for Yoon. 2.5 minutes to go now as 2 picks come from either side as Yoon now finds his man and Chankasiri finds his. Bounce pass from Stevens looking for Engelman is knocked out of bounds, and Fenn now will keep possession. Knocked away here as the inbound pass goes wild, and they're going to get the point guard Stevens of Fenn for his hand check against Chankasiri, and the referees have determined that that would be the 7th team foul against Fenn, resulting in a 1-and-1 for try Chankasiri. So this ball is live, and if he goes in, he gets another. And he sinks it. Chankasiri now hits. Impressive trip to the line for try Chankasiri as Fay ties the score and gets quickly back into a man-to-man defense. Jang has Engelman at the top. Yoon helping on the switch. Yoon finds his man again. It's Clark, who we've seen is dangerous from 3. It'll be a switch off as Chankasiri picks up Clark, and now they're right back at it. Engelman burns Jang, puts one up, no good, tipped away. Daniel Chung fighting with Wessel for it, and eventually finds his way back to Clark at the top. Oh, he throws up a prayer of a shot, and he's going to be called for a travel for the 3rd time in the last few minutes. Clark commits a turnover. Will Yoon will slow it down. Right hand dribble. Here come 2 picks. Clark makes a good move, rolling off of them. Chankasiri fakes a pass to Zhang. Steps back, he was looking for a shot. Did not find it. Edward Liu lost the ball. And Fay will have to get back on defense. And after some confusion, where Fay can press under 2 minutes, the referees are going to give the ball back to Fay. Chankasiri will trigger the inbound after a rather confusing series of events. Bounce pass to Yoon. He goes up, under, and he's fouled. So Will Yoon will have a trip to the line. He needs just 1 to take the lead with 1:19 to go, and the score tied at 19. Yoon converted on both of his free throw attempts earlier, Julian Abatang will join Pierce Girolamo at the scorer's table. They'll check into the game in just a moment. Meanwhile, Yoon rattles home the free throw, and Fei's got the lead. Chung and Jang both out of the game. Abatang and Girolamo again are in it. So Yoon now will put up his second free throw. He can give Fei a 2-point lead with this one. And he does. Back-to-back impressive trips to the line for Fei, and that'll force a Fenn timeout. The final 1 minute and 12 seconds coming your way next from Harlow Gymnasium at the Fei School. We'll be right back. Clark now the point guard for Fenn, who hit a go-ahead three a moment ago. Will take the ball in. Fei since regained the lead on a pair of Will Yoon free throws. Oh, and Fei's going to get the ball back here after an illegal screen by Clark, who's called for his fourth turnover in the final 4 minutes of action here. We're now under a minute to go as just 59 seconds remain in this game. Will Yoon will trigger the inbound to Pierce Girolamo as here's Woodman coming back into the game for Fenn. He started as Clark will take over. Clark will take a seat, I should say. Girolamo left hand. Fei can slow this down. They're going to swing it around as Yoon gets it back. Fenn's coaches exclaiming for them to attack the basketball, while Fei's coaches are hoping for them to hold on to it. Abatang. Now Chankasiri into the lane. Floater. Gets it to go, and Fei's got a 4-point lead with 30 seconds to go. Here comes Engelman. They're going to need 2 buckets in a matter of seconds. Engelman up the floor. Good defense by Girolamo. He drew the charge. Impressive play by Pierce Girolamo as Fei gets it back and now has a chance to win. Fenn will now come into their press. It's a man-to-man press with Woodman guarding Girolamo, who's got the ball. He gets it into Chankasiri. Looking ahead, he's got Julian Abatang. It's tipped away by Hickey. Abatang hits the floor. 18 seconds to go. Girolamo skips it across for Yoon, and he's fouled by Engelman. So Yoon will take a trip to the line as it looks like Fei will come away with a victory here. They're up 23-19 at the free throw line with just 14.8 seconds to go. Yoon, a 7th grader from Seoul, South Korea, is leading this JV team in points, assists, and steals, all of which have been on display today. He misses the first free throw, and his team again up by 4 points. He'll need this one to force at least one 3-point shot from Fenn just in order to tie it. And he hits. That's a big shot by Yoon. It's not a 2-possession game, but Fenn's now got to hit a 3 just to tie the game. Engelman finds Woodman. He's got to put it up and nearly hits on the bank. Edward Liu's got it. It's still loose. Edward Liu has on it and tossed it out of bounds. There's just 3 seconds left now as the varsity game coming up next readies to head onto the court for their warm-ups. 3-point shot from Stevens is good with a 1/10 of a second left. And Yoon will run out the game. That's the ball game. Fei has defeated Fenn in the junior varsity leg of our Fei School Friday Night Lights event by the final score of 24-21.